Good. I'm about to go ahead and tell everybody good evening. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Tales from the Film Set. And Dayveonne would prefer to split himself in half with a dark saber.
Yes, this is Dayveonne here. I am the wielder of the Darksaber.
Yes, that is Dayveonne, otherwise known in the Star Wars realm as Darth Bussy.
No,
Which really just sounds funny when you say it.
you know what? Kick rocks. I'm
And
a
I am
Mandalorian.
your. Hey, no. If you're
Yes,
gonna hold it, I get to call you what I want to call you.
you don't
And
call me.
I'm your de facto host, Ryan O'Regan. Thank you again for joining us this evening. We'll talk about, John Wick IV and the spoiler-free review that we have from Dayveonne and his advanced screening that he once again did not take me to. Plus,
First,
we'll be talking about.
I'm gonna.
Plus,
I'm
we'll
gonna.
be talking about the unfortunate passing of
Yes.
John Wick co-star Lance Reddick, the abomination of the box office returns for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and a little bit more afterwards. Unfortunately, Scott Churchson, our regular captain of this ship, he is indisposed at the moment, taking care of some, I guess you'd say, some COVID related stuff at home. Because it's that time of year again, the first day of spring, and we already got this nonsense coming back. But we are Jersey tough. We will hunker on. Isn't that right, Day?
Yes, we will.
Yes, as you and your saber. Sorry. Kyle would prefer to call you a Darth Veon. I still think Darth
I
Bussy
like that
is
better.
the.
I love that better. That's a
No,
hot.
no. You're
Yeah,
getting Darth
Darth
Bussy.
Beyond.
Darth
Again.
Bussy. Darth
No.
Bussy.
No. No.
Yes, Darth Bussy.
No. No.
And that's with a B. That's with a B television. With a B.
Dark Beyond. Dark Beyond. Yes.
Oh, Darth Veon sounds so cliche.
No, Dark Beyond.
And yes, he does want to know where you got the dark saber from.
I got it from the mall
Of
in
course.
Livingston. My baby.
Right, because if it's Jersey, it's probably come from a mall.
Yeah, pretty much.
By the way, how much did that set you back?
None. Didn't.
What, that didn't cost any money?
It cost money, but it didn't hurt.
Well, that's why I'm asking. How much did it set you? Like, what was roughly monetary value?
200.
Leftovers from St. Patrick's Day. 200.
Yes, it's worth it.
Oh God, no.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes. The audience can
Too
agree.
much.
Yeah. No, it's not.
A little bit,
No,
yeah.
No. Audience, do you agree this is too much? Or you just
I'm sure. For tonight, which yes, Dayveonne was once again fortunate to get an advanced screening of one of the movies that are coming out actually this weekend. John Wick IV, a much anticipated continuation of the John Wick franchise, starring Keanu Reeves and Ian McShane, and unfortunately the late Lance Reddick. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, Day, I got to ask you, how do you keep getting these?
Cuz.
Don't curse me. Look,
I'm the man.
No. Okay, yes, fine. You're the man. But as the man, what is your method to getting this done? Because Lord knows I am a fan, not just of, movies or anything like that, but also of the networking that comes with screenings and stuff like that. Because let's face it, screenings, especially in movies like these, especially in the New York, New Jersey area, they have a little bit of gravitas. They have a little bit of weight that comes to them. And somehow, you, I don't know how you do it, but you do it. And as grateful as I am that you're able to do that and you're able to do stuff for this show and for this network, All jealous. How do you do it?
Is it my charm?
Boy, don't BS me.
Is it my charisma?
I don't care if it's in the way you kiss, all right? Just how is it? Not like
It's all
look.
about it's all about networking, man. It's all about connects, who you know in the industry, film festivals, actors,
Well, I think that really comes into play,
and
sure,
production
because
companies.
certainly there's a lot of us in this industry that would love to be able to get to those sorts of events. And the thing is it something that other people could get into, or is it something that you just happen to have like your feet in the water or something? You're able to network like that.
I would say both.
So, is there anything you could recommend for, say,
I
other people in the industry to be like, hey, maybe I want to go to these things too?
I would say there are groups in Facebook that does screening premieres. There are stuff on Eventbrite, or the production company will do it and basically put out a limited number of tickets for the premiere if you're in the area. You just have to sign up and ask if there's any screenings available.
Okay. All right. All right. So, a little bit of due diligence in order to get your name into those groups.
Yeah.
Network a little bit, sure. Okay, fine, fine, fine. That means I got to work harder. All right, that's okay. No, but
No,
that's
wait,
fine.
wait. I'm gonna basically stop you right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember last episode, I did mention to Ryan I would not mind having him as my plus one. And I wanted him to be my plus one. But Ryan was quick to hang up and leave. So technically, Ryan could have went to the premiere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Yeah, just keep drinking that green juice. And it's almost gone. Wow. But yeah, I about to ask Ryan, and then Ryan just cut off the show and disappeared. And me and Scott was like, "Yo, I needed a plus one."
So, John Wick Chapter 4. All
Yeah.
right, you got to see the movie.
Mhm.
How was the advanced screening in itself?
Okay. Overall, the advanced screening was really good. You had saw a lot of celebrities. You saw a lot of people that were invited to this event, especially other celebrities. Like you had the WWE superstar, female superstar, Zelina, that was there.
Selena Vega.
Zelina Vega, yeah. Oh God, calm down, Jesus. I feel the heat. I feel the hostility.
You're a wrestling fan. Don't act like you don't know her name.
I said Zelina.
No,
I never got
who
Vega.
else?
And then you had Keanu Reeves, of course, a few other actors that's from the film, but the one actor that didn't show up was Lance Reddick.
For obvious reasons.
Reasons, yes. Well, no, we didn't find out until the next day.
Right, but obviously it was like, so you're telling me everyone else showed up, like Ian McShane, like what's his face, the guy that plays Pennywise.
Oh, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. Donnie Yen wasn't there, and
Oh, you didn't get Donnie?
even Scott Atkins wasn't there. God, Scott Atkins.
Dude, you got Keanu.
No, I understand it's Keanu, but to have Scott Atkins at the premiere would be fire. And Donnie Yen.
Understood, understood. Their martial arts expertise do help move the movie along. It would be the same thing as if you missed Mark Dacascos from the last movie or something like that. It's like you want the people that bring on the big set pieces.
Right. Lawrence Fishburne wasn't there. Who else wasn't there? That's pretty much it.
Still, you got Keanu.
Yeah, it was Keanu. The girl that was in the guy that played Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, he wasn't there.
Okay. All right, so not a lot of people showed up, but a decent amount. But anyways, premiere aside, and you rubbing elbows with all the celebrities, how was the movie?
If I could rate this film will be tied with part one. And part one,
Really, as good as the original?
yes.
Okay, okay. Now, just to give some background as to the whole storyline thus far, uh, following the events of the third movie, which, mind you, the third movie's been out for a while, so we can
Yeah,
spoil that all we want.
pretty much.
All right. Essentially, uh, he was excommunicado.
Mhm.
Everyone was on the run to get him. Even the people from the high table, they
Correct.
had sent people to like adjusters, to try and get him. And supposedly, Ian McShane's character turned on him in order to get him out of the way, and you see that unhuman fall that he takes at the end
Right.
of the movie in order for him to escape.
And you'd be like, "How do he survive?"
Exactly. That it was almost at that point where it's kind of like, okay, when you compare it to the first movie where it really was about like an ex hitman getting revenge for his dog, to this man pretty much surviving a superhero esque fall and walking away from it,
Uh,
not unscathed, but still walking away from it. You're almost like, what more can happen in this storyline?
and let me pause you right there. It's not about the dog. It's about the significance of the dog.
Yes, we know the significance of the dog.
Exactly. Get the facts straight.
Even though he got another dog and didn't even bother to name the dog, but
He doesn't. He doesn't have to name the dog.
it'd be nice to name a dog.
No, you don't have to. You could just call him, "Dog, come here."
Anyway, so where does this movie go plot wise? What are we picking up from here?
We're picking up from part three.
Okay, so what exactly happens?
So pretty. You want me to actually spoil it?
No, I don't want you to spoil it, but there should at least be some idea of like the main plot, the main driving force of this film. Otherwise, it's going to be
Well,
like, what's the point of even doing anything if we don't know what we're getting into? Yeah, you can go ahead and say that it's going to be like a bunch of just, you know, gun blasting and everything, but I still want to know what is happening with this film. Why are we getting the people that we're getting?
well, in this one, I will say he's he comes back for revenge, and I'll leave it like that.
Surprise, surprise.
Exactly.
But revenge on who? Who is left to get revenge on? Who is still alive that matters? With all the dead bodies.
There's still more people that's a part of the high table that needs to be eradicated.
Okay, so what you're saying is instead of worrying about the people who personally attacked him, instead of worrying about that jackass that decided to, you know, push him to do a job that he didn't want to do, he's pretty much just going after everybody who is in control of this organization now.
Exactly.
Okay. So it literally is like John Wick versus the world.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, you said it compared to the first one. Did it compare story wise or more action wise? Like, what were the set pieces for this thing? Because obviously, you've got your chases, you've got your gunfights, you've got your fisticuffs. How does the fighting play in?
You mix a little bit of John Woo more into survival mode.
More
Think
survival mode than even the last movie.
exactly.
Okay, so he literally is just like fighting for his life because what? He's going up against a much tougher opponent now.
Correct.
Okay. And I guess the big question here is not even so much like how many people die or how many fights there are or anything. Do we get any kind of resolution?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So, because that's the one thing I really find like troublesome when it comes to like the John Wick movies. It almost feels like, when will this end? When will this be done? Like, it could have ended easily with just at the first movie.
But
What
but
happened? He goes against the people who are intimately responsible. Like, he goes up higher and higher and higher until he gets to the head, and that's it. Now I have to ask. Obviously, it's one of those things where, okay, are we going to get anything that, like, yeah, like Tyler says, something's got to give at some point. As much as you want to go ahead and bring these chapters into the movie, we already know we're getting a spin-off with the ballerina with Ana de Armas. We already know that there's a television show in development, or there has been one in development in regards to the Continental itself. At what point does the Baba Yaga get to rest? So if we are going to get some sort of like silence here, one way or the other, and maybe this leads on to a fifth and final movie, just like a nice 5-piece story, does it look like we'll get that?
you have to go see the movie to.
God damn, no, look, okay, this is why I hate spoiler free. This is why I hate spoiler free. You know,
You have to find out for yourself and go see the movie. I
okay, all right, all right,
You
all
know,
right, all right.
I'm ruining. I can't ruin the experience of seeing the fourth installment for everybody that's watching this show. Come on, Ryan. You know that. Maybe you like to be spoiled, but what about the other audience? Like
Don't laugh,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler, look, Tyler is the one that don't want to be spoiled. Kyle don't want to be spoiled. Whoever's watching the show,
Look, I don't want to be spoiled either, but you know what?
just know that you will get your money's worth and more if you go
Okay,
see this
so you're
movie.
definitely saying this is a movie that requires you to go to the theater and see it at the theater this weekend.
Yes, I am.
All right, fine, 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 fine. Now, one more thing I'll ask before we get into Lance Reddick. Um, Out of any the new cast that is added into this film, whether
Mhm.
it be Skarsgård or Donnie Yen or Scott Adkins, who would you say is like the standout in this new chapter? Because like last chapter, I would say having Halle Berry in there, that was like, dude. But who is the standout outside of John in chapter 4?
Woo!
What's Woo? Who's Woo?
Woo!
Who?
Donnie Yang, baby.
Don. Okay, okay.
Donnie Yang was the standout of this film, baby. And that's all I got to say.
That's all you got to say. Just Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yang. But Scott Akins did his thing. I will give Scott Akins his props for playing the
But
fat guy. For playing the fat guy, we all know it was Scott Akins. But Donnie Yang, oh my God. Oh my
all
God.
right, all right, all right.
But that's all I'm saying.
No, I mean I can appreciate that. Donnie Yen has definitely had a lot more forward momentum in Hollywood. I think everyone still remembers him fondly in a Rogue One with the whole "I am one with the Force is with me. I am one with the Force. I am Force with me." And
Hey, hey,
you
hey.
pointing out that dark saber really just put it in my head. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's get that. Let the good times roll, especially the heads. Okay, we're not doing weekly watch along for Mandalorian. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. This is not the way. I don't even see a helmet on you.
This is the way.
No, no, no. All right. So that being said, obviously, folks, if you are interested in the film, go ahead, see it this weekend. It does come out Friday. Thursday night screenings, I'm sure, are going to be available.
Let me do it in the best way as possible.
Okay, go ahead.
Audience, that's watching this show, I'm letting y'all know now. You should go see John Wick 4. It's worth it. It's worth the money. It's worth the time. It's worth the energy. You will not be disappointed.
All right.
Go see that movie. You will enjoy it. It will bring out the martial artist in you and the gun woo.
So basically, if you have a violent side, go see this movie. Your violent side will come out. That's basically what you're
No,
saying,
your
right?
love of action films and martial art films will come out.
Okay. Now, obviously, since we are talking about John Wick 4, we do have to address the unfortunate elephant in the room. We heard about the news this weekend, and that is the unfortunate passing of one of the franchise's long-standing character actors, Lance Reddick.
Yes.
Now, he unfortunately died this weekend. He died at the age of 60, which, as we get older, it feels like, God, that really is not old. Like,
It's
remember
not.
when you were like younger in like your teens and your early 20s? It's like, oh, 60 is so old. Now it's like, he had so much time left.
Mm-hmm.
And he did die of natural causes, which, I think to a lot of people is almost a somewhat comforting fact because let's face it, when it comes to actors and actresses in Hollywood, you always worry that maybe it's a little bit something more, but thankfully it wasn't. But yeah, when the news came out, it pretty much got hit like hard,
Yes.
and you really, I think, showed the most about it. So you tell us, how did you feel in regards to hearing the news about Lance Reddick? What were your thoughts when you first heard about it? Because you were like the ones that told us.
Yeah, because when I found out, it was kind of shocking. It was tough. It was like a overwhelming moment because it was like I just came from the premiere, saw his performance, and then the next day, it was like, what? Are you serious? This got to be a joke. So it really hit me hard seeing him on screen, and then 2 days later finding out that he passed.
Hmm.
So it was.
Now,
Mhm.
seeing a man like Lance Reddick and his career, uh, what does that mean for an actor of, say, your age, your demographic? Like, you know, d- does this like have any significant meaning to you? Because I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, we lost a great character actor. I mean, man rocked the suit in practically every single role he had. Like, he was
Right.
a stern, dapper, unflappable kind of character, whether it was dramatic or comedic. He always had like that weight to his presence. Whether it was, being on Fringe, The Wire, Oz, even the voiceover stuff that he did. Man voiced over on DuckTales, for God's sakes.
Yes.
So, anything he did, it's like you were like, "Whoo!" You got the cold chill down your back. But what does it mean for a guy like you to? Because you obviously had a great deal of energy behind your feelings when you told us about it.
It's just that I think what really brought this out was when Chadwick and him, and you already know he was done with something. I already figured it out a little bit, but I didn't fully think it was what it was. But when we found out when Chadwick died, you know, he did all these phenomenal roles as an actor, and it was like for a person of color, it was like, wow, this guy is really doing his thing. And then for Lance Reddick, the same thing because he did some phenomenal roles. And don't get me wrong, the Resident Evil series that they had on Netflix, he did a good job playing Wesker. to me, but not everybody received it well. But at the same time, no matter what you said about certain characters who you put him in, he did a phenomenal job, whether it was voice acting, his roles in different films, different shows. He put his heart and soul in, just like Chadwick. And to lose somebody that does that stuff, it really bothers me because it's telling us about the healthcare within our film industry. It really is it really is telling us about the healthcare system. Like, are these actors getting the proper healthcare that they deserve? Or are they getting the proper checkups that they deserve? Or is it all about how much you could pay these doctors? Because in Hollywood right now, you have to basically be SAG eligible to and do a couple of films or TV shows in order to get health insurance, and really good health insurance. So we don't know. I'm not saying that's it, but we don't know what it could be. He probably was dealing with an illness and never told nobody, you know, or it could be something that happened sudden and but no matter what it was, it's just a matter of Hollywood needs to do better with taking care of their actors. Doesn't matter, better health insurance or whatever it is, because I feel as though Hollywood actors don't get enough of a good health insurance. They just get paid and they have to pay out of pocket for the health that they deserve.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you see an actor who was relatively unchanging
Right.
from when you first would see the man and stuff like, I think the first time I recognized him from anything was when he was on Lost, but the man's had a career for like, the past 2, 3 decades now. And it's one of those things where you're almost like a little in shock that something could just be like natural causes.
Right.
It's like you don't think natural causes is really going to be like a big thing, but apparently it is. And yeah, it's like something can happen at any time. You really can't do anything much about it.
Right.
But all you can do is keep your health up as best you can. This is unfortunately just one of those times when, you know, it was his time, some people will want to say.
Right.
Um, it's not like he was necessarily hiding anything. I think if that was the case, his wife would have gone ahead and said something when she made a statement over the weekend. All she did was say that he was taken from us too soon. And yeah, especially when someone has kind of like etched out this sort of like view, this visage that all of his characters kind of had. It's really able to like help place the face. Like you don't want to ever want to think of like someone being typecasted, but
Right. And
he just
he was one of those actors you couldn't typecast because he has so many. After looking at some of his videos and the one video I posted on Instagram, I sat there and looked at that. I'm like, yo, this guy is a magnificent actor. They never typecast him, really. They always put him as different roles, and his name is ringing bells. Whether it's video games, whether it's cartoons, whether it's a movie, whether it's TV shows, he never was typecast in any way, shape, or form. And that's one of those motivations for me, I like, because there's moments where people did typecast me, but then I had to make some changes, and now they're looking at me like, yo, you can be this character, you could be that character, you know, and you're like, okay, cool. Like I got cast to be a villain, And I always been cast to be like the guy that either die or somewhat the hero.
Well,
And to lose somebody like that, and even Chadwick, lose somebody like those actors, it's like somebody has to step up. Whether it's me, whether it's Michael B. Jordan, whether it's Jonathan Majors, whether it's whoever it is, we have to step up, step our game up, step our craft up, and do the best of our ability as actors that we can.
right. For someone like Lance, he was able to like find a niche and just hone it.
Right.
Like, yeah, you could say that he was like the same person in everything he did, but you know what? It's not that he was the same person in everything he did. He brought the same elements to every character he was able to portray, whether it was a main character, a minor character, someone working behind the scenes, or someone just straight right up in front. He just had that characterization
Right.
that he could play around with.
Right.
Like, I remember there was a show like before the pandemic on Comedy Central called Corporate that he was like the main CEO of, and he was just like, crazy machination type, it was like just coming up with the weirdest stuff. Like think like what's his face from The Office, Steve Carell.
Yeah.
His character just in his insanity. Imagine that, but with Lance Reddick's sort of like, bone chilling stare and demeanor. Like you just couldn't tell if he was like serious about what he was saying or not, and you just didn't want to like step on any toes.
Right.
Like, and that's what I felt was really cool about like the kind of stuff that he was able to do, because he was able to do stuff and you really weren't sure where he was coming from. All you
Right.
could do was just take things at face value and deal with it. And even like something like what was his character's name,
Yeah.
Sharon. That was like the softer side of Lance Reddick. That's him being nice, and he was like just calm, cool, and collected. When he's not, whoo boy.
And to be honest, John Wick 4 is not his last film.
Well, no, no. Obviously, he's probably got some stuff in the can for the fifth movie.
No, 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 no. Meaning,
Oh, you mean outside of John Wick? Yes,
yes.
yes, of course.
So I would say, like, I think, was it Percy, whatever?
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson,
Yeah, he had been cast in that as
Zeus.
right. So that's going to be an interesting season when it finally comes out.
So,
And I don't know if they've done all the filming for that. I don't know if they're going to need to, you know, replace him halfway through the series, or just like try to find a way of writing him out.
you don't
Obviously,
even have to write the character out. What you could do is you could switch it and keep the same character and make it seem like, oh, Zeus can appear as any shape or form.
you could, but don't forget this is Disney. It's not like they replaced Chadwick Boseman. So
Okay, I'll let that one slide.
it's a delicate thing to do. It's like when you have a character, and oh, God forbid, when if and when they do make a John Wick 5, is his character even going to appear, or do they you recast him?
You're right.
It's stuff like that, especially when you're ingrained in the franchise nowadays, that it becomes very tricky.
You're right.
So that's just how much of a mark the man has left on his coworkers, his career, his family, and we wish his family the best.
Right.
Obviously, if you go to the Instagram post that I have shared here, that's pretty much where his wife went ahead, made a statement regarding him. There is a place where you can send donations to a people that a hospice care that takes care of people in Baltimore, Maryland, which Lance Reddick is from. So if you want to go ahead, make your donations, you can do so there. Any final thoughts?
Only thing I could say is, so the audience, we have a lot of, if you're an actor that want to pursue this, so now it's the time to actually push and do what you got to do. And these actors, like I said, Chadwick and Lance, they were the example. And now we have to move forward and take on the mantle and do the best that we can to be better actors.
Fair. So, shall we transfer over to something a little bit more lighthearted in the moment?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Because not to necessarily do like a shameful segue, but there's actually a correlation between the next story. Now, John Wick Chapter 4 is composed by Tyler Bates. So
Correct.
whoever takes care of the music for that movie, that's the guy who does it. And ironically enough, he also was the composer for another product that was out just this past weekend, which is Agent Elvis. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is Agent Elvis? While Dave was busy, rubbing elbows with the Hollywood elite, I was home recovering from St. Patrick's Day's weekend, and I was able to go ahead and watch this show on Netflix. And I have to say, this was I can't curse, but it was some. So let me go ahead and actually bring up a screenshot here of what we're. So yes, Agent Elvis right there. First of all, look at that man. That is a good looking Elvis.
Hey, 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 hey. Oh.
You know what? You laugh, but
No, I'm not laughing.
that's being voiced by Matthew McConaughey.
What? Well,
I
no.
issue not.
I take that back because he can do it.
Yeah, no. Matthew McConaughey voices Elvis in this TV series, and I have to say, there's like a lot of different elements when it comes to this thing because it's pretty much got like a whole bunch of different vibes to it. Honestly, um, now I'm gonna go ahead and go down a little bit of memory lane with you, Day.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the animated version of Black Dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay, this definitely has vibes of that.
Okay.
Because what it's doing is it's basically taking us through history, through Elvis's timeline. This pretty much takes place in the late 60s. Pretty much starts off just around the time he was doing his Christmas special, which anybody that's seen the live action Elvis movie, you know how that scene goes. How he pretty much he's being talked into doing this campy Christmas show. He decides to do something different. This version of Elvis shows us that while he's going ahead and trying to reinvent himself, he also wants to do so much more for his community. And he sees just all the criminal element and the un-American element that's happening in America, especially with the damn hippies. And he goes on vigilante sprees, taking care of criminals who rob and attack women and stuff like that. He's got pretty much like a country buddy called Bobby Ray, voiced by Johnny Knoxville. He's got a female kind of like handler who makes sure he still does his stuff on set, voiced by Niecy Nash, called Birdie.
Okay.
And he has a diaper wearing chimpanzee named Scatters who loves to shoot people, bite them, and do drugs.
Why do the monkey sound like Hit Monkey?
It has feelings of that too. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. Scatters is my favorite character in this show.
Hit Monkey vibes. Hit Monkey vibes.
Dude, I tell you, this monkey do not play. I love this monkey. A cocaine chimp is just funny. And yeah. Hold on. Kyle had something to say here. So Elvis stealing Black Dynamite. Yes, he's stealing everything else from Black culture. He's just stealing Black Dynamite. But you know what?
See? I told y'all every time. See, Ryan's like quiet now.
No, because I'm letting Kyle post comments, you know. What does Kyle have to say here? So another talking animal companion show. No. I mean, he ooks and eeks and ox, and you know Elvis talks like he understands him, but it's not like pure English, you know. But I mean, it's got like Dynamite vibes. It's got the animation style is very akin to Archer and the Venture Brothers.
Yes.
It's got almost so kind of got like a Kid Notorious vibe. If anyone remembers that animated show from Comedy Central back in the early 2000s, starring Robert Evans. You know, it all pretty much is kind of like this pseudo warped history. Yes, no, there's no more McDonald's talking animal. To say there's no. Although I will say you do get like a good decent amount of like cameo stars. Don Cheadle is in it as Elvis' boss. DC halfway through the season. He's I certainly that with a handler, voiced by Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny fame, and yeah, there's a Charlie Manson. There's I hate to say that this is Charlie Manson, but basically, yeah, it's like they do like caricatures of like different actors. There's a probably one of the weirdest thing is there's a Howard Hughes, like crazy spruce goose, like Howard Hughes, you know, has uh like boxes on his feet, long fingernails. Howard Hughes, voiced by Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, so he's crazy. He's definitely crazy. But damn if it's not funny. Like this is genuinely funny. And it's weird because the funniest thing about this there he is. There's Howard Hughes and Caitlin Olsen's character Cece.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me try to like zoom in on that because yeah, of course this has to be all difficult with all these pop-ups. Why do you do this to me? There we go. Yeah, he's a weird looking dude, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I'll give you this much spoiler. Dude has acid urine.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes. It becomes helpful. Trust me. And this is an R-rated show. This is an R-rated animated program. So there is.
I'm done with
the violence is hard. The language is crude. There is some nudity in there. Not a lot of like sexual orientation, but there is definitely nudity. Probably more of the violence, gore, and language is probably what would be a reason to keep the kids away. But I'll be damned. Like Matthew McConaughey really fills out this role. Like he is a I'm not saying he sounds directly like Elvis. If anything, he definitely sounds like Matthew McConaughey doing like his best all right, all right, all right for like 10
All
episodes
right,
straight.
all right, all right.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely feel like it's still more McConaughey. But you know what? He gives Elvis such a likability.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, this is an Elvis that I could see having lived in our time. Like I could see him doing this kind of like persona. I mean, he definitely was a little more out there. He definitely had moments where he wanted to like do good by people. You saw that in the movie. You see it in his bibliographies and everything. The show itself is actually produced by his late wife Priscilla Presley.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's produced by her and two other people who they're definitely heavy with Archer. So you see a lot about like how Archer, if the Archer was like an R-rated thing,
Yeah.
you definitely see the fingerprints over on this show, especially when it comes to the humor. Very quick, nice build up, nice linear storytelling. Um, a little predictable, obviously, and definitely takes some creative license, especially with a lot of its history telling, whether it's about like the moon landing or Elvis's concert at in Hawaii that gets shot all around the world via satellite and all that sort of stuff. Definitely Scatters. Scatters is just like the weirdest thing because I mean, like if you need anything outrageous done, it's done by him. But when you see the other characters go ahead and try to like live life and still like be like living that rock and roll sort of Elvis lifestyle, and then they have to go ahead and like hijack a car, pull out a golden gun, and shake down a drug bust.
Hmm.
And it's fun. It's thrilling and it's fun. So I would definitely recommend people go ahead and check it out. If nothing else, watch like the first half of the season before it really starts getting deep into like the lore, because there is lore, especially regarding Elvis and his time in the military. But yeah, definitely go ahead, check out the show if you want. Let us know in the comments if you've already watched it, see what you want to do about it. And I'm hoping for a season 2. I highly recommend it.
And I
Now,
will check it out,
I
ladies.
would definitely say so. Let me know what you think about like McConaughey doing Elvis, or just basically being like a country type boy, because that's what he is.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Uh, Now there is maybe one more thing that we have to talk about before we get over with the show here.
Okay.
Now, just out of curiosity, um, did you happen to see any other movies this weekend?
Except for I did say I saw Screen 6, but we already talked about that.
Yes, no, I was talking about this weekend. This weekend.
Nah, I didn't see no other film.
Well, then you're in pretty good company because apparently a lot of people did not go see.
I heard I heard Shazam, but then I heard there was some it was good. It was just like the first one, but the first like just barely about to hit the tip of the first one, but they said it wasn't bad.
And for some, I think a lot of people did enjoy seeing the movie, but just not a lot of people went to go see the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, apparently the movie bombed over this weekend to the point that of a 120 million budget, coming off of a relatively successful first encounter movie, uh, it's made about $3 million this opening weekend.
Yikes.
Yeah, hold on, let me just gotta put this up here, and then I have to go ahead and put that.
Is it because no, is it because could have been advertisement? Could have been I'm just saying, advertisement.
It could have been a lot of things. But yeah, no, this did not do well. Now, no, 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 no. It has nothing to do with hippies. No, no. The hippies were for Elvis. Hippies had nothing to do with this. But yeah, from what a lot of people said, it was a decent family movie, and probably inclined to agree. I didn't get to see it myself just because I I'm probably part of the reason because I have that feeling where it's like I don't know if this is really going to matter in the long run because this is one of those movies that's coming out before we get James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, movies like this and The Flash, which is supposed to be like a helpful rewrite of the universe, and even Aquaman 2, we don't really know if there's any stakes in something like this.
Right.
And from what I understand, he tried to shoehorn things in. Like, I'm not going to spoil the movie or anything, but needless to say, the story is a little cookie cutter. The villains that they got for this movie, the daughters of the Titans there,
Mhm.
um, they are completely original characters. They're not from the comics.
Oh.
Yeah, which is I think disappointing for a lot of fans because if you remember from the end of the first Shazam movie, we got Dr. Savannah talking to Mr. Mind,
Right.
which is definitely like a deep cut, especially for Shazam fans. And you could only think that after so many years, we'd be building up from that. But no, we got this stuff instead, which is fine for a standalone movie, but don't set up a sequel and then not pay off on the sequel. I will say this. I don't know if anyone here is going to go see the movie or not,
Hmm.
but there is an end credit scene that shows Dr. Savannah still in jail, getting visited again by Mr. Mind, and it's pretty much a continuation of the scene that we got in the first movie.
Are you?
Like, how are you going to do that? That's just, that is some of the laziest nonsense I could possibly think of. You couldn't give me anything else. Instead, you're going to give me like the same damn thing, but you're gonna like just shake it off like nothing happened. That's lazy to me. I'm sorry. And what does Kyle have to say here? So it's a writer who was trying to put that. Yeah, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine. But you know what? That would be fine if this was one of those elsewhere DC movies. It would be different if it was something like The Batman with Robert Pattinson
Right.
or Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're going to do something that is completely separate and put in its own thing, then fine. But Shazam started off in the DCU. He ended the first movie by having Superman join him for lunch in the cafeteria.
Without showing Superman's face.
Right. And then this time, as was already spoiled in the freaking commercials leading up to the movie, you got Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
Which is like you couldn't keep that as a secret. Like you couldn't.
No, I mean that would have been a great little fun spoiler.
Yeah. But you don't put that in a trailer. Like now it's like, what was the point of going this? Now I understand it was promotion. Like, why would you put that in the trailer? Now that makes people like, I don't want to go see it now because you just ruin the anticipation and stuff.
Like this reeks of the old Warner Brothers guard.
Mhm.
Like before the whole HBO Discovery merger. You know, and especially coming off of Black Adam, which look, say what you will, you had Jaimin Hunsu in both movies. We know there is a connecting thread between Black Adam and Shazam and
Yeah.
the Marvel's family in that sense. But just because Dwayne didn't want to have any connection to it, we
No,
gotta act like none of that happened.
no, that wasn't the truth.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah, because Dwayne did want something to do with it. It was just Warner Brothers.
No, 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 no. Dwayne went on record as saying that Black Adam doesn't need Shazam.
Oh, he did say that.
Yes.
Oh.
Like he really was just trying to make this like his own little passion project.
Mm.
But he was the one going off on being like, you know, Black Adam can be his own thing. Could you imagine if there was actually some sort of like tying thread? Which, okay, I do know this much. There is a connecting thread now
Mm.
between Shazam and Black Adam, and this happened in the post credits.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, before the scene I told you about, again with Savannah still in the theater, still in jail and being visited by Mr. Mind. Apparently, there was a scene that I'm guessing James Gunn probably put in there himself, where you have the two from Peacemaker, the blonde and Steve Agee's Economos.
Mm-hmm.
You have them visiting Shazam and trying to recruit him for the JSA.
Mm.
Which obviously the JSA has not been a thing in the DCU up until Black Adam when they were introduced.
Yeah.
Now, one could only figure that, since nothing about Shazam, aside from Djimon Hounsou, was prevalent in Black Adam, this may have been like one of those things. It's like, okay, and maybe instead of having Superman fight him, we get someone who's got equal powers. Let's recruit someone who's of the same kind as Black Adam. Let's recruit this kid who looks like an adult,
Mm-hmm.
but still has all the same powers. That is actually a little bit of a brilliant thing. That almost reeks of like Agent Coulson trying to get Iron Man into S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Like you could have actually like played that off throughout the movie instead of it being just this one little clip at the end. It could have been like a whole little subplot about these two grown-ups following around this group of kids trying to look all creepy and everything, but really they're just trying to recruit them. That would have been fun. That would have been funny.
Right.
But no, we don't get that. And actually, yes, Kyle is correct. The director of this movie, he has gone on record as saying he is done with superhero movies. So not only was this movie probably like ill planned as a cash grab without having anything to do with the continuing continuity of Shazam or his family or the DCU, not only was this thing pushed back basically because of all the nuts and bolts of Warner Brothers, DC, all that stuff coming undone and having to go through the rigmarole of what gets cut, what doesn't, with James Gunn's rehiring to be the big man of DCU, and also all the Discovery stuff that's going on with Warner Brothers. Not only was it poorly promoted, because no matter what Eminem track you put to this trailer, it still looked basic as all heck.
Yeah.
But now it has the unenviable job of being a box office bomb. You know how bad this thing did at the box office? You want to know a movie that made $9 million more than this when it premiered?
Scream.
No. Morbius.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. I could justify. It wasn't that bad. Morbius wasn't
made more money in its opening weekend than this.
It wasn't that bad. Morbius wasn't that bad. It's just that people didn't give it a shot.
No, Morbius was bad.
No, it wasn't. It was not. All right. Would you say it was worse than the female Ghostbusters movie?
as far as a storytelling thing, yeah, because Morbius was just so disjointed. You saw all the good stuff in the trailers. The villain was kind of weak. Look, there's only two other movies in the recent few past years, whether pandemic or otherwise. There are only two other movies that have done worse in their opening weekend. Both of them are DC movies. One of them was The Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which, mind you, had great, critical love and fan love, and helped put Peacemaker on the map. But of course, it did come out when the pandemic was much more violent, and yeah, it was hard for people to go ahead and be like, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and go to theaters. No, a lot of people did not do that.
Right.
I think that only made about 20 some odd million.
Right.
But that also had the excuse of being released on HBO Max at the same time that it was released in theaters, and had the pandemic issue, and was coming off of Suicide Squad, which was a much less received movie than the original Shazam. The original Shazam opened up to like 50 million or so.
Right.
The other movie that did worse than this was DC's League of Super Pets that just came out last year.
Yeah.
So you did better than Dwayne and Kevin Hart when they're animated animals, but you did not do better than Black Adam.
Right.
You did not do better than Quantumania, which was triple digit. You can't even blame superhero fatigue on this. This was just a movie that was like put out to die. And it's a shame. Because, again, from what I hear, it's a great family film.
Right.
This is the kind of thing you want to take the little kids to. Morbius is not a movie you want to be compared to. Mm-hmm. The Mendoza line for super. Oh my god. Oh, Kyle, you were so dark. But yeah. So that's my take on the movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have to leave. Any final thoughts? Are you interested to see in the movie at all?
I'm probably going to check it out, but and I'll give my critique on it. But when I do, I'll give my critique. That's all.
It is a shame. But anyway, I know you got to go. We are pretty much done for the night. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We will be back here again next week. Scott will hopefully be joining us. From Dayveonne and myself, we wish you good night, and definitely see John Wick Chapter 4 this weekend. Like me, but not like Dayveonne because he already saw it, the little bastard.
Look here, I invited you, but you hung up.
I'm sorry, what were you saying again?
Okay. Roll the tape and we'll talk later. See y'all.
Yeah, no, I'm just roll the tape just yet. Well, I'm not gonna stop.